what I feel that is wrong, to evolve the party to a modern party, to what I feel should be the direction, or I would sabotage and allow the party to continue honorably. And I think that's what I've done. Leading to that, of course, there's a lot of conversations that have happened between me and some elders, including Dabo behind closed doors, which I don't want to disclose at this point in time. But a lot of things have informed my decision as to that I should leave the United Democratic Party. Also, when you ask, why did I withdraw?
Yeah, why did you withdraw?
That was, the withdrawal was informed largely because during the process leading to the selection of the flag bearer, I was informed. Dabo had sent people to me several times that I should say that if he contests, I will not challenge him. And the reasoning behind it was to manage the party, to ensure that people are not fighting, because they felt that a lot of people were looking at me and UDP, so they might fight.
No, let's get back to that, because I think that's the way we're ahead. Because you said that if Dabo, I remember it was in Palmo, this interview, and also Africa, if Dabo ran, you were not, if Monsuka as candidate for the party, don't hit you no. Yes, what are you saying? Why did that happen? Why did you say that?
So let me clarify that. I think I was trying to answer too much in a short question. Yeah, so in that actual episode, leading up to the selection of flag bearer, because like I said, this fight or tension for succession has been going on since 2022.
Yes.
It's a long fight. It's an open secret. People pretend they start. It's been a long process. And then again, your audio in 2023 and 2024, months more buwana start suma party. Can do my stop. Months more this and do my book at UDP, the Magina UDP, and the Mokono Baken. And I said it very clearly because man, I'm the type who has more conviction like that. And you buy when they for me, I have respect, I have discipline. One day I don't think anybody is more brave than me. And rather man it. Mansu dama gomluma topa madefko. Lucy gina mahamne lula. One day I have faith, I have strong conviction. So I made it very clear. If the time came, I felt I would leave UDP, I would leave UDP. If the time came, I felt I'll start my own party, I'll start my own party. You must have felt correct mahamne lula. When they coming to your question directly, leading up to these events, there were certain characters who went on different radio stations, and they said, the mayor of Banjul said he will not challenge Pabi and is not interested in flag bearer. The mayor of Bergama said he will not challenge Pabi, he's not interested in flag bearer. The mayor of Mansakonka said it, but only one mayor refuses to say it.
That was you.
And that's me. And that's the problem of UDP. They said it on a platform. They repeated it on a platform. Then the Pabi sent individuals to me to say, Talib, just say this statement for, hey, we stop. So at first I was reluctant. They came again. I told the person, are you sure I should say this? He said, Billah, he's just trying to manage the party because 5 billion for buy.
5 billion for buy is a cow.
5 billion for buy generate my followers and supporters. And we may cause disharmony in the party. And it's making the party unmanageable. So the third time when they came, I said, okay, fine. So if I can manage party because I had no reason to doubt. Because at that time, I firmly believe in a party to town. Firmly believe in a party to town. Then I went to Kuntaur. It was not at Palmo.
Kuntaur.
I went to Kuntaur. Dinkulio.
Yes.
My Dinkulio at Kuntaur. That is where I made the declaration. In the belief that I maintain harmony within the party. But guess what? Right after I was done with that declaration, on a Sunday, one of the senior officers of the party, went on radio again to castigate me. And that time, I called party. Minema, but you also know what kunta war. So fake only can satisfy with Silulu. Then you have me better do satisfied. Because you've said everything. Because he was quite satisfied with my statement at Kuntowo. But it was all in the spirit to maintain the party. Now, application Ubi, I checked. Not once, not twice, because application we can apply and send our application to Manjai Bureau, or we can give it to Alhagie Dabo, or we can give it to the national president. So I checked all three, because Mandamah withholds my application. If I put it in, I had an intention to apply.
Yeah.
So Mahar bin Mulli, and I had checked with all three, you can apply it. So I put in my application. But guess what? After it was declared, 2 hours later, the information came in, okay, private I'm applying. But even from sources, look what and these are clear sources who always didn't like me, or looked at me as a rival, or the illegitimate leader, or, applicant. I've been applying since 26th. And I was like, so if I can apply on the 26th, how come none of these official, recipients receive the application? So anyway, that is all in the past. I'm not really crazy over what happened in the past. All I'm saying is, I want people to understand these were the events that led to that. So, Buma apply, and I said I'll wait it out. The last minutes, and if I see him, he's still, is quite serious about the application, I will go see him and stick to my word.
Okay.
Because I will still stick to my word. So I went to him and I informed him that, look, are you still continuing with your application? And he said yes. It's not a fast. I'm going to stick to my application. I'm like, okay. Monday man apply, try win for make a flag bearer, because all I want to do is to secure a legacy. And I'm 100% confident that if I am allowed to go ahead, I will defeat Adam Barrow. And he's said, well, Mountain, he feels that he can secure his legacy, etc. So, without saying much further, I'm like, okay, in that case, I will withdraw my application because I will stick to my word. But secondly, man make as an organizing secretary, because I think out of principle, if I seek the same position that you are looking for, I cannot serve as the campaigner who should put you in the State House. He didn't like it, but he accepted it. So silent part. This mother's announcement. So that is basically what has happened. What further?
We remind that you are listening to the daily podcast live coming to you on King FM 94.7. You heard it, that was the mayor of Carnifing explaining the details, reasons behind his withdrawal from the flag bearership, and of course stepping down as well as his party's UDP's organizing secretary as well. It's an interesting interview that went to explain details, build up to all the saga that has been happening regarding his resignation from the flag bearership and resigning from the party's organizing secretary as well. Still on the daily podcast, former Vice President Dick Kemeny died at the age of 84. That is the former Vice President of America, who also died at the age of 44. National spotlight shines on NYC mayoral race as voters make a final decision. In America, in New York, is all about the mayoral election there. So more on that. Let's join ABC News for details in the ongoing details in America regarding the ABC News as well. Just to put you speed with all that you need to know about this.
Suggesting people who have trouble falling and staying asleep may already be at higher risk. Doctors say more research is needed.
Now to a family in Texas with a special reason to cheer. Two sisters, given only a slim chance to walk after birth, are now thriving with the help of some amazing doctors and some very generous people in their community. Since birth, Jimena and Scarlett have defied the odds. In 2016, they were born conjoined at the pelvis. Their separation required a groundbreaking 12-hour separation surgery at a hospital in Corpus Christi, Texas. Doctors said they may never walk again. But now, nearly 10 years later, the girls are doing a lot more than walking. They're cheerleading in a to the final pose, a reference to their very beginnings. And their journey has been a long one.
Welcome back to the daily podcast. Let's take a roundup on the national budget, because in the detailed presentation on the National Assembly of the Gambia, the government unveiled its 2026 fiscal plan anchor on ambition revenue growth, targeting investment in human development and looming debt service border. The budget projects a total receipt of 59,386,995,000. Of this tax revenue is expected to grow sharply. For example, tax of goods and services are forecast at 42.25% of the revenue, and customers input duty at 26.52%. At the same time, non-tax revenue contribution 16.12 under the current breakdown. Grants are set to increase 18. That's almost another milestone, depending on all these suckers. The finance minister, C.D. Keita, stressed that the tax revenue alone will fuel the increase, pointing to improve collection system, digital tax tools, and enhance compliance. Still, debt service costing remain a significant drag. The budget allocation 13.46 billion in government local funds just to meet obligations, roughly 1/3 of the total expenditure by some estimate. Strong support is marked for human capital sources, education, health, and agriculture, together around 10.82 billion, or about 1/4 of GLF spending. Agriculture alone will see an 84% jump in allocation, still in a push toward food security and rural development focus. For every Gambians, the implications are mixed. a great tax bonder and increase borrowing underscore constraint, but upgrade investment in key public service offer. Hoped what remains to watch is whether the revenue raising steps succeed if spending remains disciplined, and whether debt obligation can be contained without promising growth. The budget does sit at the crossroad whether the Gambia can transition from resilience on grants and borrowing to a more self-reliance physical paid, or risk stagnation on the risk debt and locked in expectations as well. Still on the daily podcast, Gambian authorities have intensified their fight against drug and other legal substance with 30 new interdictions, bringing the total number of individuals arrested for kush possession or distribution of 219 people. This was disclosed by the National Assembly Task Force on Drug and Substance Abuse, which issued the latest update on the public health threat by the illicit substance, locally known as kush. According to the task force, of the 219 people arrested for kush possession, 214 are male and 5 female. Among these, 152 are Gambians, 54 Sierra Leoneans, 4 Senegalese, 3 Nigerians, 5 Guinea-Conakry, and 1 Guinea-Bissau citizen. The task force pointed out that the law enforcement also seized 1.27 kilograms of kush in October, raising the cumulative total confiscated of 12.29 kilograms. Meanwhile, the National Task Force, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Epidemiology and Disease Control (EDC) program and the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, are doing everything possible to make sure that things are in order. Still on the daily podcast roundup, former Gambian President Yahya Jammeh has rejected the constitutionality of 2 key post-exile commissions and demanded a statutorily guarantee ahead of his planned return to the Gambia this month. In a letter dated 3rd November 2025, Jammeh dismissed the legal standing of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission (TRRC) and the Janneh Commission, both established to investigate alleged financial misconduct and human rights abuse during his 22 years rule. The TRRC and Janneh Commission are not under the laws of the Gambia or courts. Jammeh asserting, arguing that the Commission's recommendations are null and void and cannot infringe on his right to return. The letter issued by Momodu Iyabo Tamba, formally mandated to speak on Jammeh's behalf, confirmed the former president's intention to return to this country this month, though no specific date was given. Tamba said copies of the letter would be sent to the President Adama Barrow, Speaker of the National Assembly, ECOWAS and African Union, the United Nations and the diplomatic mission in the Gambia. Jammeh, who left the country under a joint ECOWAS and UN agreement on the 21st January 2017, framed his return as a constitutional right and a commitment to national stability. The letter outlined 5 key assertions including his basic for return: his commitment to peace, his rejection of the Commission's legal authority, his calls for unity, and his demand for statutory and constitutional provisions. We respectfully seek the operation, understanding, and proactive proactive engagement of all relevant institutions and international partners to ensure the immediate provision of the statutory guarantee and constitutional provision for former president and head of state, the later stated. So, Jammeh also still on the plans on returning to home. So, it's all happening elsewhere too. So, still on the latest breaking news, former Gambian soldier Abdoulaye Sanyang has been denied bail in his ongoing trial at the High Court in Banjul. Sanyang faces charges of contempt of court and arson linked to allegation that he set fire to the APRC political bureau in Kanifing in 2016 and made contemptuous remarks during an interview on Coffee Time on West Coast Radio August this year. He was arrested at Banjul International Airport shortly after interview where he accused the government of election rigging and of being involved in Sukuta Jaman shooting that left two officers dead. Authorities say his comments carry serious national security implications. That is why they detain Abdoulaye. So Abdoulaye's application for treatment outside the country has been rejected as well. So still on the issue, international lawyer and former TRRC lead counsel Issa Fall has urged Gambia to embrace unity, accountability, economic and discipline, warning that the country's growing $60 billion debt is a threat to national development. Appearing on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, the presidential aspirant say, I have constantly said the debt is still with us. A debt of $60 billion for a budget of this size, $13 billion goes to debt payment. We are digging grave on our soldiers. He criticized the government's borrowing strategy as a politically driving and called on citizens to demand leadership rooted in transparency and national progress as well. So those were the details on the home front side. Special Select Committee of the Sales and Disposal of the Asset identified by the Ijane Commission. The National Assembly Select Committee are still going with that. Let's try and reconnect with them if the internet will allow us.
The change of government, one of the major preoccupations of the new government was to ensure, that the assets of the former president, would not be dissipated. Obviously, even before the former president.
The Ministry of Justice. Yes. So, for companies, of course, if the Attorney General or Solicitor General wanted a list of companies associated with an individual, it is able to, the register is domiciled at the ministry. The bank account, how did the ministry or how did the AG, in preparing the application, gather information when they give financial reports of the government?
I believe conversations maybe with the financial intelligence unit at the time, and of course, as you may also know, that FIU does have powers to acquire from banks, bank accounts of individuals in the course of their investigation. So I believe that the information regarding the bank accounts must have come from the FIU.
Okay. And is this something you're certain about, or is it something you're just assuming?
Well, like I said, in terms of the intricate details, it was the Director of Civil Litigation who was involved with the day-to-day, drafting of the processes as well as, the day-to-day work. But of course, I have a general idea that the FIU was, very much involved in, helping us to identify. So I would say that this is my impression, yes.
Okay. But are you aware that FIU had prepared a report that aided the Attorney General in commencing the processes for the institution of the suit at the High Court, that FIU had submitted a report?
Yes,
But yes, there was a report from the FIU that eventually landed on the table of the Attorney General.
Yeah, I'm aware of the report from FIU, yes.
Okay, so that does it for the order. Sorry, for the annexure. I have received the email now.
Well, this was the ongoing National Assembly Select Committee having an interaction with the former Solicitor General at the Ministry of Chambers, but the connection there is not the best of the connection as we would have wished or want it to be. I will forever reject Yaya Jammeh. Barrow deserve my vote, not a monster, says Lang Sonko. Those were the words of Lang Sonko, and then he also was saying all those stuff regarding the former president as well. So be reminded you are listening to daily podcast live on King FM 94.7. So we are trying to give you all that we could have, but the internet is not the best of what we really want to have for the program. And I'm afraid we have less than 10 minutes before we go, but let's do a bit of roundup on this occasion. Former president, as we said, have write letters to the President Adama Barrow, the Parliament, and various concerned stakeholders in the country regarding his regard and questioning the illegality of the RRC as well, and including the Janneh Commission too. So a lot of interesting stuff. I hate for the government. I hate for the government for this week as well. So let's do a little bit of African roundup to bring you speed all that you need to know about our continent as well, because Guinea junta leader General Mamadi Doumbouya has officially entered the December 28th presidential race, submitting his candidacy to the Supreme Court in elections intended to restore constitutional rule after the 2021 coup. Doumbouya, who overthrew former President Alpha Conde, has ruled the West African nation and with an iron grip, despite initially pledging a swift return to civil governance. He made no public statement after filling his papers. His candidacy followed the approval of the new constitution in September that permit him to run a move as a leader as well. So a lot of interesting stories also coming from that part of the two as well. So for urban centers across Tanzania, more details on that. Let's join DW for that detail.
Tanzania. Video footage from cities like Dar es Salaam reveals widespread destruction following violent clashes. Local authorities have urged residents to remain indoors as military patrols intensify across major urban centers. This comes just a day after President Samia Suluhu Hassan was officially declared the winner of the October 29 presidential election. President Suluhu has strongly condemned the violence, attributing it to individuals she described as unpatriotic.
The protests that occurred in areas, especially in the cities of Dar es Salaam, Arusha, Mwanza, Mbeya, and Songwe, were neither noble nor patriotic. A true patriot builds their country. They do not destroy it.
Meanwhile, the main opposition party, Chadema, has pointed fingers at the government, accusing it of sparking anger among protesters. The party claims the situation worsened after the Electoral Commission announced the final results.
When the Electoral Commission was still announcing the results, that by itself was fueling anger on the already anger the public of Tanzania. So announcing Samia Suluhu by awarding her 98% of the total votes, that in reality did not occur, is continuing inflaming the people of Tanzania, because they are in the streets knowing that they are protesting what was not a justifiable election. And if they know well, there were no counting of votes. We don't know, the public doesn't know where these votes coming from. And the standing of the public is there were no elections in Tanzania, and that's their position, and it should be respected.
Those were the verdict of the public in Tanzania. So another election, classed in Tanzania, which is very sad for now, as we can see. Let's still continue to bring you all that you need to know regarding the latest news in our continent too as well. Tanzania, let's see, in Ghana, ECOWAS Army Chief to announce that they are going to the country to restore peace, but this is not going to be an easy task for even ECOWAS as well. I think I'm afraid this is what we're going to do for this week edition of the Daily Podcast from the Alhagie Fati and the rest of the team. Thank you for the pleasure of your company. Have a peaceful day. Bye.
Momo Gambia didn't dirty.